sweating. I'm sweating. I'm so excited. Okay, look. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Xrizz'Tina. Subscribe. Subscribe. I'm in a totally different mode right now because I'm getting ready to teach some makeup, which is something I love to do. Let me moisturize my lips real quick, girl, because they are dry, honey. I've been talking and talking and talking. This is the Tula Skincare Lip SOS Lip Treatment Balm. I have this in 3 different flavors, and let me tell you something. You need at least one of them. Smells so good. But anyway, I'm super excited today because we're gonna be doing this look. Boop, boop, boop. It's actually been a year, I believe, since I filmed a makeup tutorial. I cannot believe it's been almost a year. Let's get into it, okay? Get into it, yeah. So I'm gonna take this ABH primer. This is my favorite primer because it doesn't crease. It's not necessarily white, but it's also not flesh tone, so it delivers. And I'm going to blend it out with a Concealer Secrets brush from Makeup of the Day Cosmetics. All right, y'all, so let's get a little closer. Can we get a little closer, baby? I wanna get to know you, lady. Y'all remember that song? I actually have a palette that I made with MAC, and I'm so excited because I got all my little neutrals in here. I'm a little neutrals. And I believe that I also use the Xrizz'Tina palette, so I'm going to be using that. The first color that I'm going to use is called Give a Glam, and it's a really cool toned dark brown. I pressed this one down on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm tapping it in, all right? You want to tap this in because it's going to help you prevent fallout, and also it's going to help you build that color up. If you ever go in with your eyeshadows and you're sweeping initially and you feel like the color is just not showing off or showing up, try tapping that color in. I will say though that if an eyeshadow don't show up and you tapping it in, it ain't gonna show up, sis. You're gonna have to finesse to try to get that to show up. Once I got it where I want it, I'm gonna go on the edges and tap the edges out too. And the reason why I'm not sweeping them out yet is because this tapping motion is going to soften that perimeter, as you can see, and make it much, much easier to blend this out once I do start doing the sweeping motions with this brush. Depending on how pigmented your eyeshadow is, this is going to make it so much easier to blend it out. And of course, I am wiping off my brush because I don't want to have too much pigmentation, right? Okay? Make sure that when you're laying it down, you're making the shape that you want. Start from the beginning, building that shape that you want for your eye so that you don't have to try to fix it later. And I'm going to take 1988 from the Xrizz'Tina palette, and I'm going to press it in like so. And that's just to help blend it out. I will say you do not have to blend your eyeshadow up to your eyebrows. You can definitely keep this closer to the crease if you'd like. But I like to blend my eyeshadows out raw, okay? So once I got that where I want it, I'm going to very carefully soften the perimeter, and I'm blending in the direction I want the eyeshadow to go. I'm blending outwards because I want this to blend into my brow bone, and I don't want to have transitioning issues, okay? So that's what we're doing. And notice how I'm not bringing my brush out like this. Just very carefully, because I still want to make room for the oranges that I'm going to add, right? C3 from the Norvina Volume 3 palette, because that palette has all the oranges in it you could ask for, right? So I'm sweeping it in like so, just to give my transition a lot more color. Look at this. Do y'all ever get those? Where did those little dust bunnies come from? I feel like I want it to be a little bit more orange, so I'm going to take Devoted to Chili, and I'm going to tap her in, honey. Now you can definitely do this with your blending brush. It's going to give you a softer effect. But if you want to pack it on, I recommend getting something more dense. The MAC 275 brush, they still sell these. I'm pretty sure the hairs are synthetic. But notice how me packing it on completely changed. Girl, I love brushes like this. So you want to sweep this into your crease color. You can wipe off your brush if need be, and then soften those edges, girl. Soften those edges. This is called Up at Dawn. It's like a really orangey yellow shade. And I'm just gonna blend it out like this. And now, y'all, we are about to move on to the star of the show, okay? Notice how I did all of that with this blending brush, though. And I mean, this brush, you know, did the darn thing too, but you could have did that with the blending brush. But notice how I did most of that with the blending brush. All right, now we're gonna move on to the pigment. The trick to putting on pigments, at least in my experience, is putting them on top of a wet base. And it doesn't have to be slippery wet, but it does need to be wet enough for the pigment to set it and hold on to it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my ABH primer. All right, so we're gonna cut this crease, girl. But like I've said before, you need a flat, skinny, you see how skinny the tip is? You need a tip like that, because if you don't have one, what'll wind up happening is you'll get fuzzy lines. Make a marker, and that's where I want the line to stop at, right above the fold of my eyelids, okay? So I can still see it. And instead of cutting my crease down by my tear duct, I'm actually gonna start right here where the fold begins. And I'm gonna tilt my head back so that my eyelid shuts a little so I can see. And then I'm gonna close my eye. And the reason why I'm closing my eye is because it makes the skin tight so that the lines are clean when I open and close my eyes, see? And that's really important if you're a perfectionist like me when it comes to these lines. When I do my makeup, one of my things is I don't want nobody to be able to check me, okay? The word is unclockable, and that's what we're aiming for. Now I'm gonna take the rest of the eyeshadow primer, and I'm just gonna tap it on. Like I said, you don't need too much of this at all. I'm actually wiping my brush off now. And I'm going to blend this in. Now the key to getting this right is making sure that the edges of your cut crease are blended. Do not leave the edges like this. And don't try to blend it with eyeshadow. Use the brush that you applied the primer with to blend it out. And I know that idea, you know, might seem, you know, like common sense, but sometimes it's not, you know? So I'm happy to share. Same thing up here, out here. So tap, tap, tap. Tapping is going to make sure that the primer gets in all of the folds of your eye. It also helps blend out these edges. See the difference? And if you have to wipe your brush off a little bit. And then I'm going to use the tips of the brush to continue blending. Now I really do not remember what I applied this pigment with, but I'm about to put it on with this brush. So the pigment that I use is called Desert. This is a loose pigment by Anastasia Beverly Hills. You guys, I got these in PR, I want to say last year, or the year, actually the year before that, 2019 if I'm not mistaken. And I put them in my kit and sort of forgot about them for myself. And so this year I pulled them out and I used this one. Amazed. Make sure you tap off your brush a little bit and then go, lean in, go right in. Press the pigment in. Do not sweep it across. Press it in and keep that brush close to your eyelid, okay? You shouldn't be tapping like this. You should be keeping it close. That's going to keep you from having fallout and also keep the pigment from getting all over your crease, you know, that work that you just did, girl. We don't want the work to go to waste. We don't want the work to go to waste, okay? Don't let the work go to waste. Another perk to using a thin brush like this is you can get super close to those lines that you made, girl. Notice how I have a little bit of a stark line, right? And I have a little bit of that going on right here too. So again, same thing we did with the primer, we're gonna do with the eyeshadow or the pigment. And we're just gonna blend it out a little bit. I know a lot of the time people don't want their eyelid shades to take over their crease color or the color on the outer corner of their eye, but look, let me tell you something. unless you're putting entirely too much on, it's not gonna take over. It's really, really not. So I'm gonna take this Urban Decay Prince pencil. And this is actually pretty, a pretty mild pencil. They have a eyeliner that I love, and I was really hoping that this pencil would be like that one, but it's not. Depending on the kind of pencil you use, you will need a dense brush to blend this. I'm gonna need a dense one, but you'll need a dense brush to blend it because it's so waxy it doesn't want to move. And you can't leave it to sit too long, otherwise you won't be able to move it at all. Girl, y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Also notice how a little bit of the pigment was taken away. So I'm going to take the brush that I applied it with and sweep it right on top to reestablish that, you know, transition. And turning your head helps you see how blended your eyeshadows are when you're doing cut creases like this. And like I said, I want a little bit of black, so I'm going to go into BK from the Xrizz'Tina palette. And I'm just going to tap her in. This black is more of a charcoal than a jet black. Y'all see it underneath my eye. And I'm using this fluffy brush. This is a 221S brush. I'm using this brush because it's petite enough to get where I want it to be without creating any chaos. Blend in the direction you want the eyeshadow to go so that you don't have any harsh lines. Girl! Y'all see that? I see it. I see it. So, the inner corner. Girl, we almost skipped out on the inner corner. Take that same, what is this, 275 brush and tap that eyeshadow right on top of your inner corner. Right on top of the pigment, right on top of the lines, all of that. And it should essentially automatically blend in because you blended your base, your eyeshadow base, and you blended the pigment. And so, voila. Super easy, right? And honestly, if you don't practice breaking down eyeshadow looks, it looks way more complicated than it is. Go ahead and bring it in a little bit too. Girl, Okay, so now I'm gonna take my KVD, my KVD Trooper Black Liquid Liner Pen. Like that. I do that so that when I put my eyelashes on, it casts a little bit of a shadow, so if I have a little gap, it's not noticeable. And the eyelashes that I'm going to be wearing today are from Drenched Cosmetics. These are called Spike, okay? And for a good reason. Y'all see how cute those are? Ah, they're so cute. I'm gonna be wearing those. So, let me do the other eye and I will be right back. Y'all, my arm is tired from reaching, okay? Anyway, excuse my camera settings. I'm desperately trying to figure out how on earth I used to film these videos. I probably should go back and look at my own video on how I film the videos. This is the final look. What did I used to say to end these videos? Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I look forward to creating more videos for you guys. Please do not forget to subscribe and share my channel with someone that you know and love so that they can enjoy the content too. Also, comment down below if there's anything you'd like for me to create a video on. Even if I've already done one, I probably have learned something new since the last time that I made a tutorial. So let me know, okay? And then don't forget to, did I say like this video? Yeah, like this video. And then you can subscribe right here or down there and watch the next video right here because it is waiting for you. It's waiting for you to click. Like, it's that simple. Even if you're on your phone. Don't play yourself. See y'all next time. Bye!